Let's talk about the massive opportunity to reclaim our political system from the oligarchy and a two-party system that for decades has served the wealthy at the expense of the rest of us. Polarization, wealth inequality, and trust in government have all been getting worse, and things are coming to a head. So, what can we do? How do we prevent the worst outcomes of these trends and forge a positive path forward? Bernie Sanders' Anti-Oligarchy Tour is drawing massive crowds, proving the demand for real, deep change is stronger than ever. But we need to think bigger. This movement must go beyond Bernie's progressivism and be a true populist, big tent coalition that unites working class Americans from all walks of life. Both major parties are deeply unpopular, and people are desperate for something new, something that challenges special interests and delivers for regular Americans. Calling out the villains, the oligarchy that controls much of Congress and the media, is important, but it's not enough. We need a unifying vision and a concrete strategy to put power back in the hands of the people. Imagine a cross-partisan anti-oligarchy tour where principled leaders from across the political spectrum join forces, not just to give speeches, but to hold national town halls, meeting directly with citizens to discuss the issues that matter to them most. Not just rallies, working sessions where the people help shape the movement itself, forging a real strategy to reclaim our government. Let's call this the Reboot America movement, a movement that transcends party and ideology. By bringing Americans together around shared values and real solutions, this movement could capture the nation's imagination, mobilize millions, and build the power necessary to finally break the stranglehold of special interests and deliver for everyday Americans. This video presents a practical strategy to unite Americans, overcome polarization, and create a government that genuinely represents the people. Imagine a new era where leaders reject corporate money, listen to their constituents, and actually fight for us. This future is possible, but only if we unite to elect principled leaders. This isn't just another call for change, it's a strategy to make it happen. So please stick with me for the rest of this video because if we get this right, we can finally renew our cherished democratic republic. Our greatest challenge is overcoming the media-fueled polarization that pits us against each other for ratings and profit. We have to focus on what unites us and reject the divide and conquer tactics that serve only the establishment. This doesn't mean condoning bigotry, violence, or policies you disagree with, but we must resist labeling entire groups of fellow Americans as enemies. Studies show our divisions are often exaggerated misunderstandings, a perception gap. The truth is, most Americans are decent people struggling under the same rigged system. We've all been misled to some degree, thinking our favorite billionaires will save us or that one party is actually on the side of the people, despite being funded by corporate donors. Most of us have been voting for who we think are the lesser of two evils for way too long. It's time to stop fighting over which side is worse and start rejecting corporate-sponsored politicians altogether. If 60% of us unite, we can take back our system and enact significant change that we haven't seen in decades. United we stand, divided we fall. To succeed, this movement's leaders must put country over party and demonstrate the power of working together. We need leaders who help us depolarize, work with principled politicians across party lines, and form a Reboot America caucus, a coalition committed to serving the people, not the corporate establishment. Everyone is invited to this cross-partisan people's movement as long as they commit to good faith debate, breaking with the oligarchy, and rejecting big money donations. Let's take this movement on the road, building on the momentum of the Anti-Oligarchy Tour and demonstrate what honest, solutions-focused leadership and dialogue looks like. Our policy differences shouldn't divide us when we share the same core principles and a genuine commitment to delivering transformative change for the American people. This must be a truly inclusive movement, not Democrat versus Republican, not urban versus rural, not divided by race or creed, but uniting the working class everywhere. If we do this, we will be unstoppable. and we can heal our broken nation in the process. The Reboot America movement isn't about one ideology, it's about principles, self governance, and freedom from tyranny in all its forms. A thriving democracy is the foundation for enacting policies that a supermajority of Americans already support. This people's agenda includes dozens, even hundreds of widely backed policies like banning congressional stock trading, expanding Medicare benefits, and raising taxes on the wealthy. Enacting these policies would drastically improve lives across party lines, but we must unite in sufficient numbers to make it happen. This isn't partisan. Over the last 50 years, $80 trillion has been siphoned from the bottom 90% to the top 1%. Had inequality remained at 1970s levels, the average American would have $250,000 more today, enough to own a home, escape the paycheck to paycheck trap, and build real security. To win, we need unity politics, which is working with those we may disagree with on some issues to achieve the progress we all want. What better option do we have? To build an unstoppable movement, we must transcend party. Bernie's push for a progressive insurgency within the Democratic Party is a strong strategy, but why stop there? Why not build a bigger tent movement that unites people across political and ideological lines? Third parties face major obstacles due to first past the post elections and the spoiler effect. That's why we need a dual strategy working within the system to ultimately change it. The Reboot America movement aims to pass reforms like ranked choice voting, making it easier for independents and third parties to compete. Until then, we must use a mixed approach, backing independents and third party candidates where viable, while also running principled candidates in major party primaries where the best path to victory often lies. With this strategy, we could see a Reboot America president in 2029, backed by a Reboot America caucus in Congress. For Reboot America to be a historic and successful cross-partisan movement, we need to define the principles that unite us. Our shared values can be enshrined in Reboot America politician and citizen pledges. At its core, this movement is built around electing representatives who will take a pledge to do the following: reject big money donations. Reboot leaders refuse corporate and special interest money, ensuring loyalty to their constituents. Champion anti-corruption measures, pushing for laws like the Anti-Corruption Act to end big money's grip on politics. Advance electoral reforms, making a more fair and competitive electoral process with policies like ranked choice voting and open primaries that clear the way for independents and third parties. Engage and listen to constituents. Through town halls, surveys, and digital platforms, they'll keep constituents' voices central to decision making. Utilize digital democracy tools. Reboot representatives will harness modern technology to improve transparency, civic engagement, and responsiveness to the public. Do the will of the people. It's a simple concept, so basic that the fact that we have to say it shows how broken our system is. Reboot politicians will advocate for their preferred policies, but ultimately, they commit to legislating in alignment with the will of their constituents. Imagine principled leaders from across the political spectrum signing this pledge, making a joint press announcement, and standing together at public events. This would be impossible for the media to ignore. As more Reboot politicians sign the pledge and govern this way, refusing the pledge becomes difficult to justify. To ensure accountability, we'll need a transparent way to measure whether pledgers stay true to their commitments. We are at a crossroads. Technology is reshaping the world, and we must choose: harness it to strengthen democracy and create abundance for all, or allow it to further concentrate power into the hands of the few. This is our 1776 moment. Just as our founders redefined governance, we must rise to today's challenges. By electing principled leaders, we can upgrade America to a system that empowers its people, not just the powerful. The technological frontier holds unprecedented potential to provide financial security, more time for family and community, and revolutionary healthcare breakthroughs, but only if we can claim our rightful power to shape our political system and economy. The choices we make today will shape the decades ahead. Look, I know many are cynical about our future, but history proves that when enough people believe and act, real change can happen. The future is ours to build, but only if we step up. Senator Sanders and everyone fighting this fight, this is just the broad strokes. The details matter. You can find a more defined approach at rebootamerica.us. If we can build on this momentum and expand into a truly people powered big tent, this movement could be the one that finally breaks through and reboots America. We have the power, we have the votes. If this message resonates, please share this video with friends, family, and even your representatives. Please comment on this video or email us with your thoughts and ideas to strengthen this movement. Together, we can move beyond polarization, dismantle oligarchy, and spark an American renaissance. Until next time.